Welcome to another live session of Earthworks Hub. It's a Sunday evening. It is the 4th of May, 2025. Thank you very much to everyone on Instagram and on TikTok for joining, and for everyone that's listening to this after I've posted it on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple. So you can go back and listen to these episodes on those platforms. Make sure you go and do that. I made a bit of a change before I forget. I made a little bit of a change on the YouTube channel. I used to upload an audio version and a video version, and what I'm doing now is I'm just going to do the video version. So now you can actually choose if you want to watch the video or if you want to just listen to audio. I thought there was no point of putting up two copies all the time, so this way there's just going to be one version going up, which is the video one. Then you can choose whether you want to watch it or just listen to it. So it's up to you guys, but that's what's different on YouTube. So this is being streamed on TikTok and Instagram, so thank you to everyone that has joined. I have a guest coming on tonight, so we're going to have a bit of a podcast interview with a lovely guest. I'm not going to announce who it is. He's already joined. I can see him on there, but I'll do the formalities and then we'll get into it. And you guys are welcome, as usual, to ask questions. Just please don't sidetrack us too much. We try and keep the flow going. But, yeah, feel free to ask questions as we go. Don't forget to list your businesses on earthworkshub.com.au. There's heaps of businesses already on there. Add yours to the list so that everyone can find you and use your services. This week's listing of the week is TNS Earthworks. And I did see him come on here earlier. So TNS Earthworks, located in Lang Lang, Victoria, covering all the southeastern suburbs, South Gippsland, Bass Coast, and Melbourne. Over 15 years experience in industry, doing everything from slab prep, site cleans, drilling holes, underground drainage, yard leveling, dirt removal, trenching, all that sort of stuff. So machines between 2.5 to 10 ton, trucks and all sorts of stuff. So happy to do any job, no job too big or too small. So TNS Earthworks, thank you. Is also a regular on the show. So he has listed on earthworkshub.com.au. Make sure you join him and go on there and get listed. If you get stuck, give me a shout and I'll give you a hand. Also, a massive shout out to all my sponsors. One of them, Moasure. The other one, Godings. Actually, Godings just posted up something a couple of hours ago. I saw something about their Geelong branch got broken into last night, and they put up some footage. So if you haven't seen that, I just saw that posted just not long ago. It's unfortunate that this happened because their Rockbank one got broken into a while back, and now the Geelong one. The world's gone mad. So they've sent out some footage on Instagram. That's Godings in Geelong. So if you have a look at that video, if you recognise anything or anyone, yeah, give them or hit them up, message them, and then see if you can help out. But yeah, it's unfortunate. That must have happened last night sometime. So a quick shout out to the rest of the guys. So Moasure Australia, Melbourne Tractors, Spartan Machinery, Digga, Godings, Earthmoving Warehouse, Record Time, Plastube, Phillips Plant Hire, and Bare Earth Solutions. So thank you to all those sponsors. Also, don't forget the affiliates, Too Savage, Hard Hat Watches, and Telesin. So you can use my discount code, eWorksHub, to get discounts in all those places. They will look after you if you mention Earthworks Hub over the phone or online or in person if you go in there. So make sure you do it. I actually got my new gold sunnies. Did everyone see that? I posted it up during the week. I got some new gold Too Savage sunnies. Awesome, man. They look really, really good. Look out for my post on all the channels there. All right. So this week, before I go in and start talking to our guest, I had a chance to work in the 20-tonner. A quick shout out to Baden from Propag Civil. I actually got to meet him, and he will be a guest very shortly. And what else? I put up a podcast from last week where we spoke to Jack and Daniel. They came back from Bauma, gave us a bit of a insight as to what they saw there. And what else is there? I think that was it for this week. So, hang on, big thing. What am I talking about? Massive thing this week. Election time. We had our election. The winners were the Labor Party. So the Labor has won the election. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm not really much into politics and that. I don't really like all that sort of stuff. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. It's funny to me, though, that I don't know, and I know a lot of people but I don't know anyone that was voting for them. I swear nearly everyone I know said they're going to vote for Liberal, and it's so strange that apparently Labor won, like with a majority vote and stuff. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And also, we had a conversation with someone today. Answer this for me, guys. Why do they make us? Why do they make us do the ballots using a pencil? That is a question. Why is it you can use a grey lead to do your vote, but you need to use a pen when you're doing like bank documents and that? That's really, really strange. So I don't know. Good question for everyone to think about while I get ready to introduce my guest. Okay, let me get my questions up while you guys think about that. Podcast questions. Here we go. All right. I can hear aeroplanes. Can you guys hear that through? Okay, I can hear airplanes. Oh, Stig the Dig saying the Senate is not resolved yet. Yeah, it's just strange to me that I swear no one I know was voting. No one I know was voting for Labor. So I don't know how that happened, but I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. They're in, so let's see what we're up for, man. Let's see what we're up for. And guys on TikTok, I do see you guys. I just there's a bit of a delay, so thank you for joining as well. We've got Jake Croaks on grade 145. A lot of guys on here, so very good. All right, let me introduce my guest. I'm just going to invite him in 1 second. Tonight's guest, everyone, is Jesse from Propag Civil and Earthworks from Hastings in Victoria. Do I say that right? Is it Propag? Is that how you say
That's it. Yep, spot on.
Ah, excellent. You know, you can read it another way. That's why I put the 50 Cent song. You know what I'm going to say?
I know
What?
what you're gonna say.
The
Yeah.
proper G?
Go on then.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
proper G.
Yeah.
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 I was thinking, did he put that up as for that reason or what? But I'm
No, I didn't
sure it
think
must.
it through. I
No?
didn't think it through when I started.
Maybe you are. You're the proper G, man. That's what it is.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
that's it. That's why I put the 50 Cent song when I did
That would have
host.
been
I was
clean.
like, I wonder if he'll pick up on that.
It's funny.
No, that's good. So let's go straight into that. So
Yeah.
what is Propag Civil? Like, how'd the name come about?
So my last name's Pagonis, and I love businesses that started with Pro. I don't know why. I see a heap of them around, and my old man's got another company called Pag Pack, which is Pagonis Pacific. So sort of trying to keep in that theme, and thought, oh well, Pro Pag, and we'll see what happens, and it's just stuck.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it
Yeah,
stands out. Definitely
yeah.
stands out.
Well, it's something different. So yeah, we try and be a little bit different as you can tell, sort of painting all our machines and trucks and everything. So yeah, we
Yeah.
try and be a little bit different where we can.
Yeah, it's true. And I was going to touch on that. Well, since we're already talking about it, let's do it. I noticed you've got that color, like a grey color scheme going.
Yeah,
Is that what it is for, but just a point of difference?
yeah. So my old company that I used to work for, when I got stuck into this, uh, all the trucks were painted like a metallic blue, and whenever we got around, everyone would always be like, oh yeah, you guys are the blue trucks. So yeah, that sort of stuck, and then I thought, oh well, I got to pick a color, and painted my first Louisville grey, and then it stuck from there.
Yeah, yeah. It's so true you say that because like I've got mates with different color trucks and we're known for that. Like my mate Andrew from Quake, he's got the purple Kenworth and everyone's always like, "Oh, that's the guy with the purple trucks." Yeah, and like everyone
Exactly.
reckon,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
such a good mark.
it really, and it works. It works, and it's just something different. I mean, there's a lot of grey trucks out there, and a lot of grey and black machines out there. But if we can stay consistent, then I can see your message down there, Malcolm. Very funny.
What's the story? He's asking, do you paint your trucks full or do you paint your trucks full or
One
just
of
leave the back?
the back of my Kenworth is just a little patch of white from the paint. I'm missing it, and he saw it not too long ago.
Oh, it's good, man. It's good to see people notice little things, man. But that is an awesome marketing strategy, which I didn't talk about when we did our marketing stuff. So that's actually a good one to talk about.
Mm.
Yeah, color coding all your stuff, man. So
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
very good, very good.
Mm.
All right, so tell us, how did you start out in the industry?
I started out a lot different to everyone else. So I went to school, finished school, went to uni, started doing automotive mechanical engineering. Got 2.5 years into it, hated it, and ran into someone outside of it, and in roadworks, and then they offered me a job, and so I went and did that for a bit, and I was there for probably 5 years, and just studied it, and used sort of my background of mechanical knowledge and all that sort of stuff, and just watched how this bloke ran his business, watched how he did everything, and he had really good contracts and everything, and learned everything from there. Learned how to drive trucks, machines, everything through that. So no background or anything like that, and then just started my own business, and yeah, it happened from there.
Yeah, awesome. That's good, man. I think a lot of people learn like that. It's funny, you're probably similar to me then. I went to uni, was going to follow that path. I actually, after uni, I did work for about 10, 11 years in the office area, but then I ended up coming out into earthwork. So yeah, probably similar, man.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
why did you choose that again? Like, why was that part of your automotive thing, or you just started doing that just as a side job and then
It
continued?
was just a side gig. So while I was at uni, I had a couple of different jobs, and one of them was working on the roads. And yeah, it sort of just grew one thing from another. And one of the main guys at my old work just offered me a job, and at that point I was sick of uni. I couldn't do it anymore. I was sick of the travel, sick of studying. Yeah, I'm a hands-on kind of person, and yeah, it's just not for me. So yeah, just tried something else for a bit, and it grew from there, and grew a love for trucks, and grew a love for machines, and also something that I'm good at as well. So obviously you got to be passionate, and you got to be skillful in it, and it worked out. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's good. So how did you actually start working in the machines? How did you get experience in doing all that?
Well, you got to start from the bottom. Yeah, like I was
Yeah,
just like we were mainly asphalting, profiling, drainage, like roadworks based. So I was on the shovel, just from the bottom, doing whatever I can do for about 2 years. Just sort of did all that and just watched. You just got to watch all the operators, watch what they're doing, watch what they're looking at, watch how they're reacting, and then take every opportunity you can get. There was a heap of blokes that I worked with that got heaps of opportunities, and they didn't get it because they were worried about being judged. Whereas I was like, screw it, I'm just going to try it and see what happens. What's the worst that's going to happen? I'm going to fail, and yeah, and just every opportunity I got, I just jumped at it. And fortunately, the business that I was working for grew quite quickly when I was there, so I had the opportunity to sort of grow with it, and yeah, it was great. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, awesome. How long have you been doing? So did you? How long? When was that? Like, how long ago did you start doing that?
That was 2016. That was. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So did that for about 5 years. I was there for about 4 or 5 years, and yeah, yeah. And then there was a bit of a crossover period between starting my own business and finishing up there.
yeah. All right, cool. And what about, so when you started, how was it starting out on your own? Like, what were some of the things that you didn't expect would happen, or something like,
It's scary, to be honest. I think, like, obviously you're going out, you're paying your own wage, you're fighting for your own work, you're doing everything on your own. There's no sort of being hand fed anymore. So you kind of get to a point where, like, I was doing both, working for my own business and working there full time at the same time, and doing weekend work and afternoon work and stuff like that. And you
yeah,
kind of just get to a point where there's just got to be like, you got to leap, you got to jump, and yeah, I was having an argument with my boss at the time, and I just went, screw it, this is my time now, and put in my resignation, and off I went, and then just grinded from then onwards, and um, yeah, it's just sort of, you just sort of jump into it, and you'll never get the perfect opportunity. There'll never be the right time to do it. Everything that I've found so far is there's no right time to do it. It's just sort of, if you've studied enough of it and you know that you're going to be all right, just do it.
yeah, yeah. My wife is a huge advocate for that. If it wasn't for her, I think I wouldn't do a lot of stuff. She's like,
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
never the right time for a business, never the right time for kids, never the right time for
No.
holidays. She's like, just do it, because I'm always like, I'm gonna wait for this and wait for that. She's like, no,
Yeah,
just do it.
yeah,
So,
yeah. No, and I'm the same, to be honest. I'm really like Excel spreadsheets, trying to work everything out, and sometimes there's a point where you just go, you know what? I've just got to jump into this and just hope I come out the other side.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, guys, if you can hear those sirens. Is that my house or yours? That's my house. Oh, man, yeah,
Yours.
it's mine. Yeah, apologies, guys. There's something going off here. There's always helicopters, cops, and I don't know. I must be in a bad area, but I'll tell you. I can hear them every night, and they always start when I'm in the middle of doing like interviews or
Right
something.
on
That's when they
8 o'clock.
come out. Yeah, they're like, "Oh, Ivan's doing the interview.
Yeah.
Quick, let's go out now." Oh man, all my neighbors come out, make noises. Oh, always something, man. All right. No, that's so because a lot of people are in that boat where they're thinking about what to do, and they're always a bit hesitant. So
Yeah.
that's why I like talking to people like yourself and finding out what it was like. Like, what was the hardest thing when you went out and started? What was like some of the hardest things that you encountered?
I mean, obviously, everyone says chasing work, which is pretty standard for everyone. You're always chasing work. I'm still chasing work now. Probably one of the biggest issues that I had was being young, dealing with people not trusting that I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah,
And just, building a rapport with someone that's, in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and I'm in my 20s, trying to, explain to them that I do have experience, that, I know what I'm talking about. That was hard to be able to portray that to them. And then obviously when you start out, you have no website, you have no, prior jobs or anything like that. So you're just sort of trying to chase the bottom of the barrel, trying to get whatever you can get, and it will work out eventually for anyone that's in that position. You will get there, but you just got to keep at it. And yeah, just being young, so I still have it now. I still have some people like I rock up to site and start explaining everything to them, and then they start asking for my experience. I tell them my experience, and they go, "Oh, really? Well, yeah, like yeah." So yeah, being young, but like obviously they sort of go hand in hand with chasing the work at the same time.
yeah. And like you say, it never ends, man. You're always chasing work. Yeah,
Always.
yeah, yeah. It
Always.
doesn't get any easier.
No,
That's it.
no,
Uh,
literally, if anything, it gets harder.
yeah, true, man.
Yeah,
True. Yeah, you would think that it would get easier, but actually, it probably doesn't. And then if you do start expanding, then you got to start looking for more work to keep everyone busy.
correct. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah. So how big is this company? Yeah. So what have you got? How many people, machines? Tell us a bit about that.
So there's four of us at the moment. We've just downsized a little bit, but we're back down to four of us. And then we've got a 1.7, 3.5, 5.5, 14, triple 3G posi, chipper, couple of tandems, and a small tipper.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a good spread, man. So you can do basically everything. Is that why you
Yep.
did that? Like a
Yeah.
range of
Yeah. Yeah.
everything?
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously the sort of the style of work that we do, we don't want to be restricted to commercial only or residential only or anything like that. I want to be able to sort of do everything and try and have like every attachment for every machine, and be able to say, yes, we can do that. What size backyard have you got? Or yes, and then work that out, in not being like picking a machine as to what attachment it has or anything like that. We can actually do it no matter what. It's just dependent on what machine we choose. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's just a
Yeah.
few things that we sort of try and do to, like, I started obviously just with a 5.5, and just from there you sort of find all the gaps that you need to fill with other machines and work out what you're missing. I mean, ultimately you'd have every size machine and every attachment possible, but obviously you can't do that from the start.
Yeah. That's that was going to be my first question about that. Is yeah, what you start with? So
Yeah,
5.5.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I had my Louisville tandem.
Yeah.
I had a 10-ton tag and a 5.5-ton Cavalco.
Yeah.
Bought it all from the same bloke up at Chuka Way. Carted it all down, painted the truck and the trailer, and put all like eBay lights and everything. Full budget spec, made it look as good as I could with the budget that I had, and didn't even have enough time or money to paint the machine. I could still just stay this faded Cabalco blue color.
Yeah.
And then and yeah, fortunately I was able to paint it in the front yard of my parents' house, and just sort of made it work. And then yeah, and then like I said, you just sort of start working out what you need from there onwards. Attachments, machines, what you're missing, what you could do with, and then I just kept taking note of every time I went, oh God, I wish I had this.
Yeah.
And then there was a certain point when I said that sort of too many times where I had to just go and get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true. That's what happens most of the time, and it's good to tell people about how it is because you don't always have the chance to borrow money and buy a brand new machine and brand new
No,
stuff.
never.
You just
No.
got to try and work it out as you go, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Like my Louis was 85, I think it was. My tag trailer was like early 90s. The Cabalco was 2010. Like everything, it had 4,000 hours. Nothing was new, nothing was good, and you just made it work.
Yeah, yeah. And what about like mechanical wise and that? Did you do a lot of stuff yourself, or do you
Yeah,
still
so
do it yourself?
we do everything we can in house. I have a trade background in mechanics, so that definitely helps. And then most of the guys that work for me or have worked for me have had some sort of mechanical background. Um, so yeah, we try and do everything ourselves. Obviously, anything bigger, um, then obviously I've got a mechanic that comes and give us a hand. But general servicing and most issues that we have, we can fix.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's good. That's good because like that all keeps costs down, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, mechanics are so expensive. Like some mechanics charge more per hour than what like my 5.5 charges with an
Y-
operator. So,
That's true.
which I completely understand why with their knowledge and everything that they have. But yeah, if you can try and keep that cost down and try and do it in house and do it after hours or do whatever you can do, then it helps. Every little bit helps.
Yeah, yeah. I was like that because I like mingling, with cars, meddling with cars, doing car stuff and that.
Yep.
And I think that helped me a little bit because then when I got the machines, I sort of had some idea. Whereas, yeah, some people may come in and have no idea. But yeah, you just learn quick. You have to, man.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, and you don't get a choice. Sometimes you're on site and something breaks, or and you just go, well, I've got to fix it. Like unfortunately, yeah, like I'm the same as you. I've had cars all my life, tinkered with cars all my life. That's sort of my background. So yeah, and then working on trucks as well, and you just sort of you figure it out. Everything sort of is reasonably simple if you have the time.
Yeah, yeah. And what about out of all the stuff that you've got, what's like your favorite thing to use? Which machine or truck?
Um.
Hmm,
If I'm going to spend all day in something, probably the Western Star.
yeah.
Just because it's comfy, it's got lots of power. It's an easy truck to drive. But like, I enjoy being in the 14 as well. Milk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Western Star would probably be up there. But it's also the newest of everything that I've bought in
Oh,
terms of like most recent. So it's like the latest toy and the latest thing to play with.
yeah. Is that
So
an auto or is that a Road Ranger?
nah, it's Road Ranger. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. And the road. How did you learn truck driving and all that stuff? Did you have to just like pick it up as you went?
Yeah. So my old work, that's essentially what we did. We carted all our machines every day. So every day we were in trucks moving machines around. So being roadworks, we're limited to certain hours that we could have worked. So we were moving machines around every day, and he had every size truck and everything. So I went from driving auto tandems, then started driving Road Ranger, and then started getting into semis, and then it snowballed from there.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's the way. Yeah, I was like that. I had no idea how to drive trucks, and then my first one was a Road Ranger. Of all trucks, I bought a
Yeah,
Max CH, and I remember I had no idea how to use it, and I was driving it home after I picked it up, and my brother-in-law was in the truck with me, and he just kept putting his head down so no one could see him. He's like, it's so embarrassed. I was like crunching, trying to find gears. Then you go up
oh,
a
we've all been
slight
there.
hill. Yeah,
Yeah,
just and then you miss a gear on the hill. That's it. You got to stop, start all again. Everyone's beeping
yeah,
at you, and he's like,
yeah.
he was just like, get me out of this truck, man.
Yeah, I don't blame him, to be
Yeah.
honest. I'd be the same.
Oh, he's like, can't you drive this? And I'm like, well, I didn't think it was that hard. He's like, are you serious? You just bought it without ever driving one. I was like, yeah,
Just watch
I
a
don't
few
know.
YouTube videos. That's what I do.
Yeah, that's it. I thought that's what everyone does. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, oh man. Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, it's good that so like you say, you have to be versatile, I reckon. Yeah. So I think most people advice to anyone that is looking at getting into it, you can't just sort of think you're going to be in that one machine. If you want to get bigger,
Yeah.
you got to look at variety,
To
you know?
take every opportunity you can get, every single chance you can get to jump in whatever machine it is, even if it's, a grader, an old 12H grader that's got a million sticks that you don't even know what you're looking at. just jump in and just have a play.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it, man. Whenever you get a chance, just ask, can I sit in that for a minute? And then you never
Yeah,
know, you might have to jump in one again later.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What about, so with your workers, tell us about that, because, all of us obviously that have had workers, have got things to say about it. Like, how do you go with your workers and stuff? Like, what's it
Look,
like
I've got
for
a
you?
really good bunch of boys. So, like, we've all had our dramas. Everyone has dramas with employees. Some people, I don't know, some people aren't in the frame of mind or, want to be in the industry anymore or anything like that. And, we've all got, funny stories that you can laugh at now. But at the time, it's obviously very frustrating. But no, I've had one bloke, which is my best mate, Jacob. He started with me like 6 months in, and he's been with me ever since. So that obviously helps. Just he's seen it from the start and seen what changed and where we are now compared to what it is. So he is awesome. And then the other two guys are recently sort of started not too long ago, but they're awesome. I have zero complaints with employees at this current moment. Like, you go, you have a couple that come and go, but if you look after them and you find the right guys, then it works out. But it's more effective. It's up to the employer to look after them. Like, obviously, you'll get the sort of average bloke that just doesn't want to be there or anything like that, but you can sort of pick them out pretty quickly in terms of whether they're going to be good or not. But for me, it's a matter of looking after our stuff, because obviously we have an image that I want to uphold, and it's just if they look after that, then I look after them. It's as simple as that, and I don't have a high turnover, so obviously something's going right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good, actually. What the things you just said are really, really good. How do you go about finding your workers? Like, where do you go to find yours?
So I just recently, not too long ago, just hired someone, and I just put a post on Instagram. Like,
Yeah.
social media is amazing, and I had so many resumes sent through that I couldn't keep up. I literally got to a point where I was like, oh, and it was becoming overwhelming. People were ringing me flat out, and I just could not keep up with it. So there was just one email that was sent to me, which is Ethan, who just started with me not too long ago, and it just stood out. It was like this really well crafted email and really well said, and he's only 23 years old, and honestly, I just don't get along with older guys in terms of them working for me. They can't handle working for a bloke that's in his 20s. So I kind of am restricted to picking blokes that are either younger than me or similar aged. And he just crafted this really well sort of worded email and sort of, really wanted to work for us and wanted to look after everything. And he's done his first week last week and he's spot on, like, zero complaints.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. And what about, have you put anyone on that's inexperienced, like totally inexperienced, and just taught them from scratch?
Yeah, I've done that. And, like, I mean, essentially everyone's inexperienced in a way. No one's a perfect sort of operator or anything like that. I've had inexperienced guys, and even the guys that work for me now are inexperienced in certain ways. But the stuff that we do now, we're all, they all either have a landscaping background or a building background or something that sort of some sort of trade background, and they all bring in their own sort of experiences. Like, oh, I don't know everything. I still am learning every day. So for them to come in and teach me something is pretty cool. And we all sort of have our own little thing that we're good at. But yeah, you sort of, if you have someone that's young and inexperienced, I think it's a good thing. You can teach them what you want them to know and how you do things, because then they don't have sort of old habits that are really, some people who have real shitty old habits that are frustrating.
Yeah.
And you can try and get it out of them, but they just don't. So yeah, look, it depends on your business and how quick you need things to work out with the new person as well. Like, if you've got a million contracts that need to be fulfilled, then obviously you're going to go out and hire someone that's really experienced and knows exactly what they're doing. But if you have the opportunity to train them, I reckon train them.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, because like you say, you can actually bring them up to the way you want. One thing I did want to ask, and I was writing it down, is I had
Mm.
that issue. I had the issue where whenever I tried to train someone and put someone on without that much experience, I'd send them to a job, and the customer would notice like straight away, and they'd be ringing me up
Mm.
going, "Oh, who's this guy you sent me?" How do
Yeah.
you get around? How do you get around all that sort of stuff? Like, what do you do if
So
the customer says, "No, I don't
we,
want this guy"?
oh, look, I've had it happen maybe once or twice now. So I don't do a lot of sort of solo operator jobs. Like we don't do a lot of you know, trench digging or anything like that. We do a lot of our jobs is everyone's on site, smashing the job out, off to the next one, and then just rinse and repeat. So when someone does hire just a sole operator and a machine, it's either myself or it's Jacob, or you know, and I always make sure that they're capable of doing whatever they need to do. Something that I learned sort of not too long ago was ask a lot of questions from the customer and try and work out exactly what this person wants and what they're planning on doing. Like I had a job not too long ago that was just picking up trees in the 14, and you know, if someone's never used the grab before, then obviously that's going to shine pretty quickly, and yeah, it's going to be pretty embarrassing for the operator, and then also, you know, the customer is going to be shitty about paying someone per hour for them to learn essentially. So yeah, pick
Yeah.
your jobs and pick your operator. It's kind of that simple, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's true because like that's the thing. If you want to try and expand, and you can't always find experienced people, or like you say, not they might be experienced in one thing and really really good at it, but you put them on something else, and suddenly they're learning again. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard. And then you like you say, you're trying to convince the customer to give him a go. But if you're on hourly rates and that, they'll be like, hang on a
Well,
minute,
yeah, they're
yeah,
going to be shitty because they're literally paying someone to learn. It's not really that fair on the customer, which is completely when they ring me. If someone rings me up and they're shitty, you can't get on your back foot and argue back with them. You kind of got to accept it.
yeah,
But yeah, I try where you can avoid it. We try and avoid it.
yeah, yeah. And what about like with your workers now? Obviously, how did you go through COVID? I know you probably that would have been probably
I
almost the
started
start.
in COVID,
Yeah,
so
that would have been the start. Yeah, yeah. When I looked at
yeah,
timing
so
just then, yeah,
yeah. So we started in COVID, so you know, it was kind of all I knew at the time. Like when I was doing roadworks, it was good because the roads were quiet and there was no issues. So yeah, and then I sort of started in 2021, so the sort of the tail end of COVID. And yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. You can, but unfortunately, it was sort of when people were starting to realise that it was kind of a bit of crock of shit, and they were coming out the other side and starting to realise that they can spend money and all that sort of stuff. So I didn't really cop it too hard.
yeah, yeah. I think in fact a lot of us were, and everyone I talked to said they were flat out. It was actually
Mm,
still pretty busy for us.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
What about now though? How are you feeling the pinch at the moment? Like a lot of people are actually saying it's very quiet, especially in Victoria. How are you feeling it?
Um, at the start of this year, we were quiet, but that was more personal dramas than anything else. That was me sort of jumping off the ball a little bit than anything else. But nowadays, we're flat out. Like I don't have any dramas at the moment. But obviously, you know, like the election could instantly change one thing or another, and everyone, you know, so things can change so quickly. We could be booked out for months, and then all of a sudden, you know, jobs start getting cancelled and everything like that, and then you're back hunting for 1 day or 2 day jobs. So it depends. At the moment, it's good, and then obviously, yeah, the start of this year was quiet, but I don't know whether that was sort of related to the economy or anything like that, or if it was just me or being off the ball.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, cool. And Moba just asked a question, which I was going to get to next. Actually, there you go. Moba saying, what sort of technology and that do you use on your machines at the moment?
None, unfortunately. Where you know, and being young and sort of being growing up playing, you know, games and everything, we all want to do it. I reckon it'd be sick, and there's talks to it now in terms of what machine that I'll end up, because I'm going to upgrade machines soon. So in terms of what I end up doing, I really want to get some sort of smart grade set up for our posse, so that we can. But our posse's currently wired up with the smart grade for John Deere through John Deere,
Yeah,
so we can get the dozer blade all set up through them. So obviously, I wouldn't go a third party for that, but machines and stuff like my 14 and 5.5, I'd love to have at least even 2D would be awesome. I think it would, it'd make us so efficient, and to be able to design stuff in the background and then do it. Like we already do it. We already are designing, so we're already a part of the way there. We already use SketchUp and a couple other different programs to design everything up. So we're kind of there. We kind of just need the heart, like the physical part of it now.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. You're almost in. You just gotta do
Yeah,
that
we just
last
got to
little bit.
commit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
But it's
it,
monetary. Like it's all about you look like you go to CAT and have a chat to them about the difference between a GP, a 2D, and a 3D, and it just like jumps by $100,000 each time. So
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. There's definitely some good options out there. One, and probably being a bit biased, but
yeah. Just
Moba
covered
can
it.
definitely. Yeah, look, there you
Yeah.
go. He's put in there. He'll be in touch. He's good. He's on the ball, man. Daniel's on the
Yeah,
ball.
yeah. No,
But
look, I'd be interested to be honest. But it wouldn't be worth putting it on our current machines. I'm looking to upgrade the 5.5 and the 14 soon, so that's when I'd sort of be trying to tee it up.
yeah, well, a lot of their systems and that they're mobile, so you can move them around. So
Yeah,
the good thing is, yeah,
yeah,
talk
cool.
talk to him anyway. But
Yeah, yeah,
definitely there's options there, man. Definitely options. And that's what you want. You want to be able to really move something from one machine to the other, and easily as well.
it
So that
would.
way you're not
Yeah, it
spending,
would be really advantageous to be able to move things from machine to machine because, like you said, we're doing variety and every machine's doing something different each day. So, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And with your work, like, where do you travel? Like, what's the furthest that you've ever traveled for a job?
Recently, we're sort of Mornington Peninsula based. The furthest we've ever travelled recently is Healesville, and that's sort of, and then we go. So essentially, based in Hastings. We obviously do all of Mornington Peninsula. We'll travel around to Phillip Island, and then sort of up towards Healesville, and then I kind of have like a pin on a map circling the city, and and that's like a no go zone for me because I just hate going to the city. So yeah,
Yeah,
and I know all the boys hate it too. So and it's flooded there. Like there's plenty of good operators and plenty of good guys that can do that area. So yeah, try and stay out of the city where possible.
yeah, yeah. Have you ever worked like in the mines or out of like Victoria or not really?
I have done out of Victoria. So when I first started, probably about 12 months in, I had the opportunity to go up to Lismore and do the Lismore floods. So a good family friend of mine was doing the insurance clean up there, and he just gave me a ring and said, "Hey, can you get your machines up like starting tomorrow?" So literally packed everything up, packed all the boys up, and we just drove up and we did like 24 hours driving straight to get up there and started the next day pulling like rubbish out of JB Hi-Fi's and stuff. Like it was wild. We had two posies underground underneath JB Hi-Fi pushing like I think we pushed about $3 million worth of stock out. And then Jacob was out the front in the 5.5 feeding sort of 30 cube bins and so we did that for 3 months.
Yeah,
So that's sort of the most intense sort of work we've done. And then funnily enough, yeah, it was interstate as well.
yeah. How cool is that, man? Something different, yeah.
It
You
was
know what?
really cool.
I reckon stuff like that would be awesome. Like a good experience. You can't think of it like, oh man, I got to travel and that. I think you just got to think about the experience, yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome to be honest. I'd love to get back into it, but I don't even know how to or where to or who to talk to or what to do. I think it's sort of a real niche thing that you sort of got to know someone to get into it. But it was an awesome opportunity and it helped us purchase a bit of gear after that as well. So it was like 12-hour days, 7 days a week for 3 months. Like it was flat out. So yeah, even like, we just booked accommodation and just stayed in an Airbnb out there. But obviously every Airbnb was flooded. So we were like, an hour out trying to get in every day and dealing with sort of the floods trying to get in. We even re-flooded when we were there, and my truck and machines and stuff were on the news, sitting on like a little mound surrounded by water.
Are you
So
serious?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
funny, man.
yeah. And
Oh,
we were last people out of town. We pulled one of the police unimogs out when it was bogged in the floods. Like, yeah, it was a cool experience, and it sort of was once in a lifetime, I think.
yeah, yeah. And Malcolm Excavations, he's full of comments tonight. You know what? That was going through my head. I was thinking, I wonder what sort of stuff they picked up out of that pile. Yeah,
I've got videos of it. I'll send you some videos. There's one where like I'm in a posi track and I've got one of those big Chinese grabs on, and it's a TV, and the tag on the front of the TV said like $3,200, and I was just like squishing it with the grab. Like
oh,
I think we were there at that JB Hi-Fi for 2 weeks, and we pushed like 3.1 or $3.2 million worth of stock out. Yeah,
crazy, crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it's tough, man. All the floods and that. Yeah, well, there's heaps of stuff going on anyway with floods again in Queensland and
Yeah,
everywhere. So it's crazy, man.
yeah,
But it's good. It's good that you actually had the chance and you actually helped out too. So
yeah.
no, thanks
Of
for doing
course,
that, man.
it kind of
Yeah,
felt wrong to be profiting from it, though. To be honest, like people were, are you volunteering? Are you volunteering? And they're like, no, we've been contracted from an insurance company, so that felt wrong. But we also every opportunity we had, like when it re-flooded, we pulled out a couple of caravans and unbogged a heap of people on our way out. So we tried to do when we could help someone. We tried, but yeah, we were kind of
yeah,
there to profit at the same time, which felt wrong.
yeah. It's true. Actually, when you say it like that, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it would be a weird feeling. Yeah,
Mm,
like people are there thinking that you're helping, and then you're like, oh, how do I tell them? How do I
yeah.
tell them that I'm charging? Yeah.
Well, the military was there and they were helping, but they were more sort of filming their efforts. And then as soon as the cameras turned off, they'd go off and have their 4 hour lunches.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
4 hour lunches, geez. That's a
Yeah.
good one. All right. Well, what about, so speaking of like different type of work and that, so is your work predominantly like quoted jobs or do you do hourly stuff as well?
Pretty much 99% of it is quoted.
Yeah.
So it's just sort of happened to be that way. I think it's sort of something that I personally am good at in terms of talking to customers and quoting and all that sort of stuff. So it's kind of just what we've fallen into. But also, I've got a really good crew that is efficient and isn't dragging their feet and sort of. So with quoted jobs, obviously with hourly jobs, you can drag your feet, and as long as the customer's not sort of busting your balls, you can take 8 hours in a day and just sort of cruise along. Whereas the guys that we were really good as a team and we're smashing jobs out. So it's sort of it's not even up to me; it's up to them as well. But yeah, it's mostly quoted, sort of quoted retaining walls, quoted site cuts, sort of bulk earthworks.
Yeah. And when you do like retaining wall jobs and that, do you all guys know, do they come jump out of the machines and do like
Yeah,
physical stuff?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah?
yeah, yeah. If they're not getting out of the machine, then they can fuck off.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we're all young, we're all in our 20s. If you can't get out of the machine and give the boys a hand, then yeah, you can go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of physical work in building a retaining wall, and some days we don't even touch a machine, which sucks. I'm trying to sort of work my way to get away from that so that we can always use a machine to assist, but there's sometimes where you just have to use a machine. They have to sort of, get dirty and carry an 80 kilo sleeper by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, true,
Yeah,
man. True.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it does become hard to do anything physical after a few years, I tell you, because then you're like, if you've got to shovel something, you think, oh, if I had my machine, man, that'd take me like two
Yeah,
seconds,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah. It's
And
the operator's mentality. But
yeah,
yeah, the best operator is someone that knows when to stop and when to get out. And because sometimes you just sometimes you'll be digging a trench or something, and they'll just, I'll just scratch a little bit more out, and then they end up going too deep or too much, or whereas if they just got out and gotten a shovel and dug that extra 50 mil with a shovel, it'd be quicker and easier, and we'd be out of there.
yeah, yeah, that's so true, man. Yeah, the other day I was doing a job, I was in a 20-ton Hitachi and I was digging, just loading trucks with all the excess dirt.
Yeah,
And I was laughing to myself because there was a guy in a 10-ton Yanmar watching me. He was like just in front of me. So he was actually digging trenches and whatever he dug out, I'd load out.
yeah,
And so he was making the pile, and then near the pile, somebody left what do you call it? The whacker, not the whacker, the jumping jack. They left the
yeah, yeah.
jumping jack there, and it was leaning up against one of the rollers, and the dirt was sort of up against it. And I was trying with the bucket to get around it, and I was just like just missing it. And I was thinking, if I just got out of the bloody machine and just moved it,
You'll
I could
spend
have.
10 minutes working your way around it, and it would have taken you 2 minutes to jump out of the machine and quickly move
Yeah,
it. That's the
yeah,
and
that's
that's the
right.
operator's mentality that some people sort of get stuck into, and that's goes back to that same thing where if you get people that are experienced and expect the world, they sort of expect your labour to be doing that sort of stuff rather than them just quickly getting out and doing it themselves.
Yeah, yeah, it can be an issue. I've had those challenges, man, asking experienced guys to come out and shovel, and they just look at you like, hang on a minute, that's not my job,
Yeah, I
man.
can't
And I'm like,
stand that. Nothing
yeah,
irritates me more. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I suppose you know what, as they get older, I suppose in their 50s, 60s, they're probably less less likely to want to come
Of
out, I suppose. So it's
course,
hard.
yeah,
It's
and I
hard. Yeah.
get that. Your
Yeah.
sort of body degrades over time, and then that's when you start getting into the cushy jobs where you're just bulk loading all day and doing that sort of stuff. But we're all young, so we can get stuck
Yeah.
into it.
That's it. And TerraPro saying, yeah, it's the lazy shit where mistakes
It's
happen.
true.
It's true. Like that
It is
bloody,
so true.
that jumping jack, and it fell. Eventually, it fell down. And I was thinking, if that something broke, it's probably because of my laziness. I
Yeah,
could
yeah,
just went and
yeah,
moved it, you know?
yeah. It
Yeah.
happens every day. Every day there's something, and I do it all the time. You kind of just sort of, I'll just quickly move it with the machine, and you end up denting it or doing something. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Every time. Every time. Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. So if you could take back time, what would you do differently when you're like starting a business? Just say you had to start again. Like, what would you do a bit differently?
Um, well, one thing I started as a sole trader and then midway through changed to proprietary limited. So I wish I started as a company. That's probably one of the more biggest pains in the asses. And then for me, uh, jumping onto sort of advertisement and social media and doing all that a bit more and even now I don't do it enough and I'd love to do it more. But yeah, sort of advertising properly and then also learning to know when to use a professional to assist. I thought that I could just do everything myself and now I'm kind of getting to a point where, an accountant does make sense and, a marketer does make sense and a bookkeeper does make sense. So like trying to do it all yourself and you just think that you can do everything. And so there's times where I go, geez, I wish I started the marketer then. I wish I started the accountant then and all that sort of stuff. So
Yeah.
just trying to not be arrogant and thinking that you can do everything yourself.
Yeah.
In terms of like work and stuff, I'm pretty happy with and machines and trucks. I'm happy with everything. I've sort of done it reasonably humble in terms of starting with old trucks and old machines and trying to work my way into sort of new stuff and not just jumping into new stuff. And like we don't have a heap of debt, so I can now sort of start to buy new machines and now sort of I'm excited to sell some of our older stuff. But yeah, it's just a grind no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's true that there's some really good answers there because I think a lot of people don't know when it's the right time to do something. Like we were talking about that earlier about when's the right
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
and I suppose it's always after that you think shit I should have started that a bit earlier. I should have got
Oh,
someone on to do
hindsight's a
marketing.
wonderful thing.
It is.
Yeah, yeah, and you
It
don't
is. Yeah.
realize how good something is, or how cheap something is as well. Even just like talking to a bookkeeper, I started talking to one recently, and I'm like, oh, it's actually cheaper than I thought. I wish I just asked, years ago, rather than just assuming that it's going to be expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's good advice for anyone that is running their business. Don't try and run it all yourself. You wear
No,
yourself down. It's very hard it's very easy to wear yourself down.
yeah, it does. It will kill you if you want it to. So yeah, it's not something that you want to do. And like I'm lucky, I don't have kids, I don't have a partner, I don't have anything to worry about. So at the moment, I can just 24/7 grind on business. But yeah, obviously that's all something that I wanted to have in the future. So if I can do it now while I'm young, then it's sort of if the business can start sorting itself out in the future, and I have sort of everything in place, well then I can enjoy having kids and a partner and living life.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is the actual grand plan? So what are your plans for the next 5 years, just say?
Um, I want to start getting some more passive income for me. So trying to find ways that money can just sort of trickle in without me having to go out every day and quote and sort of, bust customers' balls and say, hey, did you like our quote? Constantly thinking about all that sort of stuff. If I can have customers coming to me rather than me going to customers, that is but in a few different ways as well. Like we've started to clean all our soil from site carts back at our yard and run it through a trommel and selling it back to other customers and getting to a point now where maybe you consider start storing some other materials at the yard and then using that on our jobs and then maybe sell it to other people that need it. Fortunately, we start at 6:30, so there's a lot of companies out there that don't start till 7:30, 8 o'clock, and tradies wanting to get everything early where they can. So there's talks of that, and then there's also talks of dry hire too. I'm in a really good position to be able to start dry hire if I wanted to. So I've been considering it, but it's one of those things where I've just got to jump into it. So I've been crunching all the numbers trying to work out whether it's worth it, and maybe I do need to just take my own advice and jump into it. But yeah, ultimately it'd be nice for me to have sort of a couple of different divisions, and two of those divisions be able to sort of self-feed them, and then, it still have Civil and Earthworks doing what it's doing.
Yeah. I like that, man. I like that plan. You've actually got a couple of things, and you've actually already started putting things in place. Because a lot of people talk about things, then they talk about,
Yeah.
oh, I'm planning about doing this, but you've actually done some research and it sounds like you've done some calculations and that, which is a good sign, man. When you do
Yeah.
come to the dry hire, my advice, because I did do that for a bit as well, is make sure you've got the right documentation for people to sign. So
Yeah.
cover yourself.
Yep.
Definitely trackers, tracking definitely,
Yeah.
and trackers with I had my trackers attached so that I could tell if they're using attachments as well. Because sometimes they'd say, "Oh, we didn't even use the hammer," and I'm like,
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah,
you were
cool.
using the auxiliary button for a while, yeah." So,
Yeah, it's sick.
so yeah,
And that's all part of the recent upgrade of machines in terms of trying to get that sort of stuff built into it. And I know that there's a couple of brands that have that sort of tracking software built in, or whether you've got to go third party. So, that's it. But it's all sort of future plans. I'd love to be there in 5 years' time, but whether it actually happens or not, we'll see.
yeah. No, good, man. Sounds like you've got a plan. And speaking of trackers, actually, I was going to ask you if you've ever had anything stolen, but I just saw Geelong, sorry, Godings come on just a second ago. So just a quick shout out to them as well. Guys, if anyone does see their post, someone broke into their Geelong branch last night. So if you look at that footage, just have a look. More. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I know.
Yeah. It's scary, to be honest. And, it's going to happen to one of us. I see it all the time to people that I know, and I can't imagine how frustrating it would be. Because, you put an insurance claim in, it's never going to be the same as what you had, or, you're never going to get the same money as what you've invested into that machine. So to be able to have something stolen, it's frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is. And some of the guys are saying don't do it. Yeah, don't rent. But you know what? It's not always bad. It's not always bad. I've had a few bad experiences, but a lot of them are good. What I found is I also had a couple of regulars that were doing it, taking machines. So that was a good thing.
It's not something that I want to make, my whole income off, but it's just for me to be able to supplement what we already do. And then if it also means that I can buy a few more machines and they can pay themselves off by being rented out, well, then, it is what it is. And, if they get scratched and dented, then that's machines. Like, they still get scratched and dented going out every day. No machine's going to come back after 4,000 hours and look perfect. So it's just accelerated when it's out on hire being used by other people.
Yeah. And we have insurances and that too, I suppose. You just got to, I think you got to distance yourself. You can't be too, what do they call it? Attached, to the machine.
Which is the thing that I'm really struggling with at the moment. I sort of, obviously we paint everything and make everything look tidy.
Yeah.
But with machines, I'm sort of trying to get away from that. I'm still attached to the trucks.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
Yeah, that was a hard thing for me too, man. Just realizing that I had to not be attached to the machines and that, because otherwise you just take it too personal if something's damaged.
Yeah, which is actually something that I learned from, I don't know whether you watch Asheville on YouTube, but that's something that I learned from him, is that you got to learn to just treat it as a business, not as something that you love.
Yeah. That is one thing that I'm learning. Like, I'm watching a lot of stuff on YouTube and exactly like that. A lot of business people, and then they talk about they build their businesses so that one day they can probably even sell them. But I find that all of us in excavation, we think it's just like a lifetime thing, and we treat our machines like babies and keep our jobs like, I don't know. It's just like we're very attached to it.
Yeah.
Like, what I mean? We don't see it. Like, it's not just a business you can sell.
Yeah, none of us are building companies like Kennards or Coates or anything like that. None of us are being able to get a business to the point where you're going to have investors and be able to sell a business for a profit. We're all just sort of doing it because it's all we know.
Yeah, and it's a job that we enjoy, so we don't really see it like something we want to sell and do something else. It's like, I'm doing this forever. Like, I can't see me getting
Yeah,
out of it. So
I can't see myself doing much else, to be honest. I enjoy it, and obviously there's times where you hate it, but what's every job that you don't hate?
how many times have you come home and just thrown the keys on the table and said, "I've had enough, man"?
It's like once a week.
Yeah,
Once a week, I reckon it happens. It's just that, you get home, you leave home at dark, and you get home at dark, and you're just sort of worn out and over it. And what else are you going to do though? You got to get up the next day and do it all again. So, yeah, yeah, but yeah, once a week, I reckon I have that sort of chat with myself. Why the fuck am I doing this? What am I thinking? But
yeah,
yeah, one day it should all work out. Hopefully.
yeah. My wife laughs at me, man. I'd come in and throw the keys on the table and go, "Yes, I've had enough. That's it. I'm selling everything." And then at like 2 hours later, I'm sitting on the couch and I'm looking at stuff, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I go, "Oh, I found this bobcat on marketplace," and she's like, "Are you serious?" Yeah.
Thought
I'm
you were
like, "But it's
selling
cheap."
everything.
Yeah, no, it's cheap. I can use it. Yeah.
Everyone that
Oh,
knows me knows that I am a marketplace fiend. I love marketplace. I can't get off it, to be honest.
yeah.
So, yeah, I can relate with you there for sure.
Yeah. I was going to actually make a post on that. I was going to do a little funny post, and I haven't got around to it. I should do it. And say who can relate to this? I reckon everyone will say yes.
Oh, it's legitimately getting to a problem. Like Reese Malcolm will understand. He's been to my yard. It's just cars everywhere at the moment. It's literally like I had one bloke come up to me once and he was buying something. I can't even remember what he was, and he goes, "Nice scrap yard," and I was like, "Are you serious? This is my work. This isn't a scrap yard, mate." Like, yeah,
Oh
yeah. So
shit.
it's genuinely becoming a problem. I probably should pull my head in
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, delete marketplace. Don't look
Yeah,
at it. Yeah, that's it.
yeah.
No, I think we're all the same, man. We're all the same. Look, it's been a really, really good chat, man. Is there anything that I haven't asked or something you want to talk about? Like
No,
any
no, no.
questions?
I think more for me, if there's anyone that's watching that's sort of in their, you know, 20s or 30s that are considering do it, just do it. Like, do it before you get too old. Do it before gets too late, and do it before you have kids and all that sort of stuff. And if you have kids, do it as well. Like, what's stopping you? What's the worst that's going to happen? We go back to driving someone else's truck or operating someone else's digger. Like that's the worst case scenario. So if you're gonna give it a crack, give it a crack. And I'm all for people starting their own businesses and like where I can help someone, I will. So if anyone ever wants to chat about it and has any sort of advice or anything like that, just give us a holler.
Oh, good advice, man. Good advice. I like it. I like it because like I say, I get a lot of questions on people asking me how do I start operating and how do I start a business. So hopefully, anyone that's listening is getting this advice and use it. Use the advice because what I'm hearing from everyone is just do it, man. Worst case, like you say, you go back to
Yeah.
operating for someone else, and that's not even that bad because you're still doing
No.
what you like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And you're getting paid a wage, and you don't get grey hairs in your 20s, and
yeah.
like
Could be a good thing. Yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
exactly. So yeah, look, that's worst case scenario.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's good. Good advice that you've given there too, man. Very, very good. No, I appreciate you coming on. It's been really a really good chat, man. I really enjoyed this,
Yeah, thanks
and
for having me.
no problem. I appreciate all the feedback and all the advice you're giving all these people. So I'm sure a lot of listeners will be happy with this. So we've got Jesse from Propag or Proper G. uh, Thank you very much for coming on. Uh,
Thanks. Thank you.
no worries, man. No worries. Oh wait, we've got a comment. What's the reply saying? Do it before COVID lockdowns again. Oh no, don't start. Yeah, don't start. Yeah. Oh no, he's talking about what he did. Maybe. Oh, that's what he
Yeah,
did. Yeah,
yeah,
that's what
yeah,
he did. Yes, yes,
yeah.
yes. No, no.
Also, if anyone's going to Diesel Dirt and Turf, me and all the boys are going to head up for the weekend. So if anyone's up there and wants to get a beer, we're all going to be there and
Oh,
we'll all be keen.
that is good, man. I'll be there. I'll be there.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'll see you there.
Hold my flag. What are you there for the whole weekend or
Yeah,
just?
we're going up Friday midday and we're leaving Sunday night.
And where are you? Are you going to be staying close by? Are you,
Yeah, we're just going to stay in Sydney.
oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. 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 All right. No worries. Yeah. I'll be close to the actual
The
the
venue.
creek.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
The venue.
drag. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes. I'll be staying there. Definitely, man. We'll keep in touch. Definitely. And anyone else is welcome as well. There's already a lot of boys going up. It's going to be chaos soon.
It
We're going to
is.
take
It's going to
over.
be good. There's a lot of faces that I think I'm going to have to wear uniform just so people can sort of work out who I am, because otherwise I'm not going to know
Hey,
anyone.
I've got my Earthworks Hub flag, and I'm going to attach it to my trolley and
Yeah.
just walk around so everyone can just see me. Just follow the flag. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'll be looking for it.
That's it. Oh, and Malcolm Excavation is saying that you're putting the tab on at the bar. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
$50 limit though.
That's one beer nowadays. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
I know. Especially for
Yeah.
Reese. He gets
Uh,
zero. Nothing. I don't think
uh,
he's even going. He said he was thinking about it, so you better go.
you better go now. You better go. He's going to have to
Yeah.
get there. Since, hey, if we're all going, he might as well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. No, good, man. I'll see you there, definitely. And to anyone else as well. Yeah, you're welcome. Come up to me, say hello. If I look confused when you come up to me, it's probably because I'll have 1,000 people coming up. So just bear with me, man. Yeah. All right. No, thank you. And to everyone that's listening, before I finish up, make sure you go onto the website, www.earthworkshub.com.au. You will find Propag on the featured section of
I
the
think we're number one at
website.
the moment. I had a look just this morning and number one on the top.
There you go, man. So Propag is on the featured listing section. If you guys want to be on there as well, go on and list your businesses. Join Propag, Proper G. Join him on the front page of the website. And also, yeah, you can buy yourselves merch. You can subscribe to me on all the channels, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. What have I missed? Anything? Spotify, Apple, everything. We're everywhere. You'll see Earthworks Hub everywhere. Go on, watch the videos. I'm actually working on a really good video coming up about how to go from being a beginner to a pro as an excavator operator. So I'm doing put a bit of effort into this video. So look out for that coming up very shortly, and a few big podcasts as well. So if anyone wants to be a guest as well, hit me up and we'll get you on the show. All right, Jesse, thank you very much, man. I hope you enjoy your week, and everyone else that's listening, enjoy your week as well.
Thanks, mate. Cheers for that.